Hello, 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 hello. I am here. Finally, I am here. I had, sorry I'm so late. I'm going to switch the camera down in a moment. I'm just trying to get everything straight for this. I'm quickly making up this cute little tree bag. This is what we're making today. I get the, learning the angle of the camera thing, I think is the hardest thing to learn, is how to do the angle of the camera. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and switch, if I can find it, my other camera. And I got to load up my phone real quick to make sure I am actually on. What am I doing? I have been so busy since yesterday that I have, oh, that's not what I wanted. Going crazy. So trying to get all these stamps together and unbox and everything else. Let's see. Not now. Why does everything ask you what to do when you're in the middle of trying to do something else? Okay, let's get Facebook to come up. I don't know why it takes forever on my phone to come up, but it's like the longest thing in the world. So one thing that takes forever, and a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go out, close the app completely, and then try to reopen it and see if it will come back up. That's the one thing I do the most. But I'm sorry I'm a little late today, but I did have a prior commitment that I had to get done, and I'm actually still not quite done with it yet. I have one more thing I have to put up on, it's for my team leader's page. I'm part of her design team, and I had to put up my projects today, and I didn't realize how long it was going to take for me to type out the post. Oh, come on, computer or phone. Why does this take forever? Close everything. Open up. Let's look at all these real quick. Make sure they all go away. Okay. Yeah, I looked at them. Thank you very much. Okay. And let's open up my page again. I'm pretty sure I'm live, but, oh, there we go. Why does it always work the second time? Never the first time. No, the first time when you need it to work the most. Gonna turn down the volume. And there we are. Alrighty, so thank you for coming today. I see my phone again. I know there's always a lag on this. Can I get this to work right? Oh, because I need it to go this way. Yeah, that way. Okay. Today we are making this really, really cute treat thing. Oops. Okay, there we go. So, alright, so let's switch over to the front camera, which I think I can do without... Oh... Without it, I think it went. Boy, Facebook is really delayed. And it doesn't help. Oops. Of course, that all disappeared. No wonder. Oh, I think I'm here. I think. My desk is so much higher. No, I don't think it's still up. Oh no, it's showing it is. Why there's a delay on Facebook? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, there it goes. Okay. That is a really long delay. It's like about 30 seconds. My desk sits, hi, I'm Julie Kite with Stamping with Julie. Or Stampin' Julie. Sometimes I do it a different way depending. Well, that's really showing up today, isn't it? My scar. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm here today with my project. Okay, I'm going to get through that. You can find me at www.juliekite, JULIEKIGHT.com for all the blogs. And this live and the whole project thing will be on my blog tomorrow morning for you if you want to go on. And if you can't remember the the measurements or anything, and you can watch this video right after this either way. You can, when we do this, you can, you know, the measurements and stuff. I tried to make it really simple measurements, so it wasn't anything really hard to remember. And this does not use the Big Shot whatsoever. So if you don't happen to have a Big Shot, this is so simply easy to create. Simple, simple, simple. So what I was saying about my desk is my desk sits at counter height, and I did that, well, when I made the desk, I didn't have a choice about it being counter height because the shelves that it sits on, it's a big piece of, it was a 4x8 by 3/4 inch piece of the melamine laminate stuff. And it's cut down to 7 feet by 3.5 feet or 3 feet. I can't remember what I think it's actually 38 inches. And it's an L-shaped. It goes all around me, which is really cool. It actually gives me more desk to put stuff on to make more of a mess. It sits on top of the 9-cube little shelf units you can buy at Walmart or Target or even Home Depots and Lowe's. It sits on top of one of those. So I really didn't have a choice on the height that this was going to be. So it's really hard in my chair because the chair is not meant for counter height. So I'm always kind of readjusting myself in it. So I'm sitting a little higher, so I'm not like, you know, like trying to craft like this. So real fun. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We are finally here. Oh, it's been a day. It's been a day, it's been a day, it's been a day. I don't want that light on yet. Oh, light. My chair is really bothering me today. So I think that's better. I have, most of you know about my back issues. I had a nerve on Monday. I woke up with it, and that's usually what happens is I wake up with something. I have a nerve that's going from the top of my leg on the inside, my thigh, down the back, around my knee, down the back of the calf, under my foot, around my ankle bone, and down to 3 of my toes. That is just like superly excited. I can't even describe. I'm trying to explain to my husband how it feels. It's just super excited. And right now it's worse because we're starting winter and we are cold. We are hitting the teens at night. If we were cloud and had any rain, we would have snow. So that's fun. So the cold is one of the main things that sets off, makes the nerve pain worse is cold. So, and I had a really hard time last winter before I had the neck surgery with my hands hurting all the time because the nerves were being compromised. So, I'm hoping this winter, so far it's been good. My hands haven't been hurting that bad. So it's actually been really, really nice. So, I wanted to give you some updates on what's going on with Stampin' Up. Last week I told you 3 items that were discontinued because demand was a lot more popular than I thought we were going to be. Well, this week 3 more items went up. It's actually just 2 items and then a bundle because the 2 items are in the bundle. It is, and I had them right here. I don't have the envelopes because I usually don't make envelopes out of these things. But it's the Memories and More Santa's Workshop. These are so cute. I am so glad I got these before they totally disappeared. But these will no longer be available for purchase. If you did happen to order them and they're on back order, they will fill the back order. But because they were so popular, the manufacturer can't guarantee that they're going to come into stock before Christmas. I'm using it to do a December daily. That's why I got them. So I wasn't really interested in making the cards with them, but they are so, and of course that's going to be really right, and it's going to be backwards. But these are the 3x4 cards, and they are so stinking cute. It's Santa, if you can see Santa. I got the stamp set too that goes with these, and the DSP, but that's on back order too, but that will be available. So, but these are so stinking cute. But I am going to do a December daily, and one thing I really liked about them was the elements that they included with this. If I can find just the elements that they included with this, they have little stickers, and part of the little stickers that came with these was numbers. It says December 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 31, to do like a December daily. So I was like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. And they were even sparkly. It's probably going to be really, really hard to see how sparkly these are. There you go. You can kind of see the sparkle. They're sparkly. So, but these are sadly now been discontinued. retired. Well, I don't know how you, the item number is no longer valid. But also the envelopes, the Poppy Parade envelopes that went with these, so you could put these on an envelope and mail it, you know, give it as a card, or yeah, it was the card base and envelopes is what they are. They're not no longer available either. So I am so sorry that those sold out. That's a good thing to say how popular they are. Yeah. So, but I'm so sad because I wanted to do something for you guys with this. Not next week, but the week after, you know, right before December start. I may show what I'm doing with it just to give you guys, some of you that did buy this, just so you idea of what I'm doing with mine. I usually try to do a December daily each year because we normally go to California. That's where I'm from. I live in Arizona. All of my family is in California. All of my family is in California. All immediate family is in California. There's my brother and his wife and 2 little girls who live in Northern California, but the rest of them are all in Southern California. And usually 2 to 3 times a year we go to visit. One of those times is Christmas, and we're usually there. We're usually gone for about 2.5 weeks. We're usually there for about 2 weeks, and then we spend a few days with some friends that live down in Phoenix. So, but normally that's how I do my December daily, is when we're there for during the vacation time. So I kind of like that. I like going for Christmas. I do. My husband's kind of like, I don't want to go, you know. He's not a Christmas person at all. He really despises, he hates the commercialism that has happened with Christmas. I'm not that way. I'd rather give than get anything, you know. I've never ever, and I've always made gifts for family and friends and stuff since I was really little. I've been crafty most of my life, but he grew up with some nieces. Well, he didn't grow up, he was older. Some nieces and nephews who were very, I don't want to say spoiled, but they and I know it's just a kid thing because now they're not that way. It just seemed like it was competition who got the most or most expensive and stuff, and it was just really sad for him, and he hated it, and he's just hated the commercialism that's gone with Christmas and how it's lost its real meaning. So, but we usually do that for Christmas, so that's what I'm going to use that for. So, but I wanted to let you know that those are going to be retired, or they are retired. You can't even order them. The number just comes up and says it's discontinued. So, in the North America market, North America only. If you're watching this in another country, Australia, Europe, I do not know what your guys' inventory is, or if you guys still have it, or if it's gone too. That is for North America market only, and that's only, I'm only allowed to sell inside the US. That's per Stampin' Up! Rules. So, alrighty, that's why with my little card kit thing that I offered with the promotion this month, and do not forget about that snowflake promotion, the white velvet paper is gone. So they only have the 4 other things, and I'm still honoring my thing. If you buy the 4 other things, I will still continue to send you the card kit. And I'm going to include a pack of rhinestones to make up for not having the velvet paper. So that, I knew that stuff was going to go fast. That was extremely popular among us demonstrators. It was going to go fast. So, but yeah, that's why with the card kit, I'm only allowed to do it with the U.S., in U.S. only, because that's only I'm allowed to work with. But I can do these lives with anybody, so that's cool. So I'm going to go ahead and reshift myself on my chair again, because that's what I do every 5 minutes in this chair. I need a new chair. I need a really, really, really comfortable counter height chair that can swivel and move. So I've actually been looking at them. So today's, was there anything else? I don't think there was anything else that they're announcing. They had On Stage last week, which I didn't get to go, I'm so sad. But I heard it was spectacular. They premiered the Occasions catalog, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen the cover of. The inside is absolutely, oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. I can't wait to get my hands on some of those products. And you're probably already starting to see stuff made with it. It is so, so pretty, so pretty, so pretty. Oh my gosh. My bank account's screaming at me. I can hear it now. You know, have you seen that commercial with the dentist? When the people are going to the dentist and they don't have dental insurance and their wallets and purses try to run away from them. Yeah, that's what my bank account's doing right now. So I already have a list. I have a list and then another list after that list. So yeah, so that's going to be fun. And we get to start at demonstrators. We get to start to pre-order on December 3rd. I can't wait. So actually, I think it's December 5th. Yeah, December 5th. So if you want to join my team and be eligible to start purchasing some of that next month, that is really, really awesome benefit we get. So, and plus you get a discount, 20 to 25% off. So that's an even better deal. You could buy more stuff. So today's project, I want to do something because next week is obviously Thanksgiving here in the United States on Thursday. And so I wanted to let you know, I will not be having a live on Thursday. It will be the Wednesday before. And I know a lot of you still will probably be going out of town or doing other things. But that's okay. You can watch it anytime you want. But I want to do something really cute as a treat wise that you can like put at maybe your place settings on the table or give to family and friends as they leave. I'm going to make up a whole bunch of these to give to the family that's coming to my house. Both my sons are coming with their girlfriends who are both pregnant. It's like, oh my gosh, 6 weeks apart. I'm going to be grandma. So, you know, it's like, oh, both of you waited all this time and then boom, together. It's like, hello, slow down. I didn't mind being a grandma. I wanted to be a grandma for like the past 5 years. I just told my boys to take their time, you know, don't rush into this. And all of a sudden, bam, it's together. This is going to be interesting. But I wanted to make something up to give to them as they leave, as a little extra treat for me to say, you know, I love them and I'm thinking of them and that. So, but this would be great. You can put these in a cute little basket or a tin right by the front door, and as family leave, you know, friends leave, they can grab one of these. So, but I wanted to do something that didn't require the big shot in case you didn't have one. So I tried to keep the measurements, you know, real simple. So like the square that's on the front, you know, you didn't have to have the big shot. It's real simple, easy to cut out. And then the stamp comes, well, it doesn't come with, but there's a leaf punch that you can buy that goes with the stamp set I'm using. It's Painted Harvest. You don't even need that unless you want to decorate this up. You don't even need that. That's how simple these are. You know, I mean, kids, especially if you give these to kids, because it's chocolate, good chocolate. They're just going to rip that off and throw it away. So I didn't want to make it, you know, too elaborate. And I do recommend, even though I stapled, you can see the staples on the back, I stapled this. If you are giving these to small children, either, you know, have their parents do it or just use tape. And I would so recommend the Terran tape, because it's a stronger adhesive than just the snail. And it will hold this really, really well if you have small kids and you don't want them to have the staples where they may cut themselves or whatever. But, and it also, actually, you won't be able to see them from the back, so it's kind of cool. It's kind of, you know, an extra benefit. But you don't see them on the front because you staple it before you put the front on. So, let's get down to that. So, we're going to go ahead and switch over. My fingers get cold, and that's just a natural part of neuropathy. So my touch screens don't like me very much. So I'm hoping that switches without me having to stand up and look at it. Boy, that's behind. And I'll take the banner off too, so you don't see the banner when we do this. But I'm going to find out in a minute. Well, that is like really, really behind. Ah, it did it. I'm so happy. So, you can see my cute little project. I hope I'm like within screen. Oh, I do. I need to take off the thing. I need to take off the banner so you can see what I'm doing. Boop. And the banner's gone. So, and then I'll get... I'm always trying to learn my distance of when I'm doing a project with what area I am in. So, all you need for this is the... And I've got to move my phone to get to my stamp set. That was kind of dumb. Is the Painted Harvest stamp set. I hope this isn't too bright in any way. It's a photopolymer stamp set, you know, so you can tell. And don't worry about if your stamps look like this, they're pink. Usually happens in any kind of ink that is red based. It does not affect the stamp at all. It's just the natural. I've been dealing with photopolymer for a lot of years. This is very much natural staining. It does not affect the stamping of the product, of the stamps whatsoever. So it's just the way they die, you know. I think it actually looks kind of pretty. So, but that's the stamp set we're using. And if by chance you do want to get the punch that goes with it, this is not sold as a bundle anymore. This was in last year's holiday catalog. But this is the leaf punch. And it punches out this leaf right here. And there's a two-step if you want to do that one on top or separate or whatever. But that's the leaf punch that goes with it. So, really cool. And I'll have that all listed on my blog tomorrow morning, so you can see all the items that we used. So what we're going to use out of this stamp set is the circle, the 5 little dots, and the gather together and give thanks one. You could also do I'm thankful for you or any of them. But I do want to let you know that when you look at this, you're going to think, oh my gosh, those are much small. These images are at 85% because they want to show all the images that are on the stamp. They have to make them a little bit smaller. So these are smaller than they are in real life. They are actually much bigger. Let me show you. This one's really pink. Is the size difference between those two. And I think it matches. Yeah, like that. Something like that. But this is the size difference between that. You know, so it is, they're a little bit smaller on this. So don't be discouraged when you see this. So let's get started. So adjust myself in my chair again. We'll set those aside. We're also using the Country Lane DSP Designer Series paper. And I have cut these are all the little strips, into 1 inch by 3 inch strips. I do not know what that is in metric. I could never convert. I've been a seamstress since I was 9 years old. So I've you know, it would just be so hard for me to convert any other way. But they're 1 by 3 inch strips. You know, it's really cool because, you know, there's front and back. So if you want to use the back of one, the front of the other, you know, it works perfectly. But it is from the Country Lane DSP. And it's just such a pretty colors. And this is what determined the colors that I used for the sunflower. So for the bag itself, these are the 2 by 8 cellophane bags. These fit the Hershey Nuggets perfectly. One end, you know, and the other end's closed, one end's open. I am using Rich Razzleberry, Early Espresso, and Crushed Curry to make my cute little topper. I'm using Whisper White cardstock, Rich Razzleberry cardstock, and I think, oh, and a stapler. You can use any stapler, and a pair of scissors. And I use the snail to put this on the front of that. Or you can use the Terra tape if you want, and I can show you what that looks like without having the staples in it too. So let's get started. Well, I got a breath. Run down to that one real quick. And if you want to get extra fancy with this, you know, you can use, I would like to do like the linen thread, you know, maybe tie some around, make it really pretty. We even have, I think it's Nature's Twine, and it came in different colors. Here's Crumb Cake. And there's also one in Rich Razzleberry, which would actually match really good with this too. And even the mint actually goes with that. That's one of the colors in that DSP. You can use that too. There's so many different things if you wanted to play these up more. I just wanted to show you a basic one, you know, to show that you do not need a lot of stuff to make this cute little treat thing. And people are going to love these. So that's why I had to order more of these things, because I knew I was going to need them. But one thing I want to do real quick is wet my, whoa, that's a spray, my Stampin' Scrub, so I can clean my stamps off as we're going here. And of course, get all the cat hair off of everything. I don't know what it is. I can clean all the cat hair out of my desk and everything around here, and 2 seconds later a cat hair shows up and there's no cats in my room. It's this stuff is like, it's like little ghost hairs. They're everywhere. Oh, see, there's another one right there. Ah! Okay, so let's get started. So I started with a piece of the basic Whisper White cardstock. This is an 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock. And I've cut this down to 2.5 by 2.5. Real perfect square. You just use the trimmer, cut it to 2.5 by 2.5. And I do need, I used this really good this morning, so I forgot I needed a piece of paper under this, because we stamp off a lot with this one, because I wanted their espresso color, but I didn't want the darkness of it for the center of this. So there you go. And that'll look a little better. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start. Now, a lot of people had a problem with this stamp in the beginning because they didn't understand the fact that it is really, it's not a perfect stamp. It doesn't do a perfect stamp. I mean, if you can tell how light it is and dark it is in areas, and a lot of people thought it had to be, you know, a real solid, and it's not. It fades. It's a real watercolory stamp. And because there's two pieces to this stamp, I highly recommend, one is usually very detailed, and this is the one you do with the darker color. And then there's one that's more undetailed, and this is the one you do with the lighter color. And I highly recommend that you always start with the lightest color first. Okay, and our lighter color is going to be crushed curry. And this should, oh, of course, now all the cat hair in the world is on this thing. I'm going to turn this back to light that up. Why is it I set this down for 2 seconds and every cat hair on my desk just kind of adhered to it? That is the one fun thing about cat and stamps. I'm going to clean this off again real quick to get all the cat hair off. It's not too bad with a cat if there happens to be a cat hair on it with this one because it's so forgiving. It's not like you know, it's a sentiment where a cat hair is going to show in a line that goes across something. The fun world of being a pet owner. I so want a naked kitty. They call them naked kitties, cats with no hair, or very, very, very little hair. There's so many degrees of a naked kitty, but I want one so bad, and my husband thinks it looks like something post-apocalyptic, you know, like a zombie cat or something. But I want one. I think they're so cute. And that would solve my no cat hair, you know, having cat hair everywhere. So a lot of them will have a real light fuzz to them. You have to bathe them a lot. So I think that would be the hardest thing. Of course, it's real fun if you get a cat that doesn't like to be bathed. And I've bathed cats, and I've walked away quite scarred because of it. Okay, so we're going to ink this up really good. Check to see if there's a cat hair on it. And this is, again, this is the crushed curry. Always start with the lightest to the darkest. And this doesn't need to be centered. If you want to off-center it, that's fine. But I am going to go ahead and just kind of put it right. I'm going to turn this a little bit. Right, smack dab. And mine is actually more towards the top. So I had room for my sentiment on the bottom. And we're just going to stamp it down real good. It's going to stick. We just pull it off. See? Now you can see here how dark it is here to how light it is here. This is the way this stamp is supposed to stamp. Don't think, oh my gosh, there wasn't enough ink on my stamp. It didn't stamp right. This is the way it is supposed to stamp. It is supposed to look like this. Hi, Wendy. I know. And I've never owned any piece of clothing without cat hair on it unless I just bought it at the store. And somehow, before I even get home, there's cat hair on it just because it's on me and in my car. But this is the way this stamp is supposed to stamp. It is not. It is just supposed to be a beautiful watercolor. So don't panic if it doesn't look right. Actually, the more imperfect it looks, the better. Okay, next one, we're going to be doing Enriched Razzleberry. Now this one, we are going to stamp off first before we stamp it onto our sunflower. Now, the beauty thing about this stamp is a lot of times, you know, with the two steps, you need them to line up perfectly. This one, you don't. And there is arrows. Where's my stamp set? I will show you. Any stamps that come that are 2-step, 3-step, you know, and up, on the, and this is going to be really, really hard to see, on the stamp set itself, there's these little arrows. And these are to tell you to line up this arrow with this arrow when you're stamping this on top of this one. With this stamp, you don't really need to pay attention to those arrows. That is the beauty of this stamp. This stamp is perfect, 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 perfect for the beginning stamper because of how imperfect it is. I'm going to go ahead and clean this one off. But this one we are going to stamp off. That's why I needed the back paper. We're going to stamp this off because I did not want the Rich Razzleberry as dark as it really, really is. So we're going to stamp this one up really good. Just ink it up, and it looks really cool, and you can see the different dimensions in the stamp itself. We're going to take it, we're going to stamp down on our paper. Look up, see how dark that is? And we're just going to line this up however we want to, just as long as the circle is inside the circle. Press it down, and voila. See how imperfect that is? Beautiful. That is a perfect stamp. It is not meant to be completely inky looking like, you know, you do with most stamps. People always panic, I don't have enough ink on my ink pad. No, you have plenty of ink. This is the way it's supposed to look. Sometimes I'll show you guys how to re-ink ink pad too. I just had to redo that with a couple of mine. So, but see how dark it is on this compared to, because I wanted that lighter one. I didn't want it that dark because then my sentiment wouldn't show up when I did the bottom part. Okay, next thing we're going to do is the center. Now, you could do, there's two pieces to this. There's I have my one blue nail. There is the center itself, which stamps directly in the center, and then you got the one with the little dots. And you do not have to do the little dot one if you don't want to. I just think it's a cute little dimension adder. And what we're going to do with this is stamp off as well. And we're actually going to stamp off 2 times before we stamp on our project. In this one, we're using Early Espresso. You could also use soft suede. Oops. Soft suede, you know, instead of having to stamp off so many times. But I wanted the Early Espresso in that color family to match how I did the sentiment. See how okay. So it's on my computer, it's gonna melt my chocolate. So we're gonna stamp on our ink pad again. And remember, you don't need to, you know, get a lot. We're gonna stamp once, twice, and then just put it in your center. And this does not have to be perfect as well. Just have to make sure it's in the center. Ta-da! Ready? Clean that off. And I so highly recommend a Stampin' Scrub to clean your stamps. Oh my gosh, I do not live without mine. It is my best friend, except the fact that it collects every cat hair in my room. But, you know, you just wash the things on it, you know, when it start getting a little dirty, you just wash it and put, you know, and kind of dry them off with a towel and put them right back in. It works great. Okay, now this one, I don't want it full strength either, but I'm not going to stamp off twice. I'm just going to stamp off once. This does not have to line up in any way, shape, or form. And no, I do not want the dots to look perfect. Some are going to be kind of not all there. Some are more there. Some are going to touch. Some are going to line up. There is no... I mean, this is a sunflower, people. Ta-da! And that one is done. The extra ink on. That's one thing, another tip I recommend is if you have, like, you know, Stampin' Up! Sells these to customers. These stamping grid thing comes in a big pack. I think it's 100 of these you get for $11. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I think it is here in North America. Great for using to do the stamping off stuff. One last thing we're going to do is we're going to take this one that says Gather Together and Give Thanks. And now this one I absolutely do not want the cat hair on. Now this is the only time I'm going to use the Early Espresso at full strength. And we're going to stamp this along the bottom part because I stamped more towards the top. And it doesn't have to be straight. Nobody's going to sit there and go, oh my gosh, she didn't stamp that straight. And there you go. And that's why I did the Rich Razzleberry lighter. Because if I had done it that dark, you probably wouldn't be able to read those words all too well. So, that's why I did those much darker. Another tip when it comes to the Stampin' Scrub. I keep a water bottle. This one's empty because I just watered my plants. Next to my Stampin' Scrub. Because I have a fan blowing in my room because menopause is a wonderful, wonderful part of being a woman. Hot flashes. Best thing in the world, right? It kind of dries out the Stampin' Mist that you use to clean the stamps with, that you spray on the scrub and then scrub your stamps. It kind of dries, you know, the water, you know, evaporates out of the mist. And so I usually spurt it with my squirt bottle to kind of like refreshen it without having to use more Stampin' Mist and then going through that a whole lot faster. So it kind of extends the life of your Stampin' Mist. So you know, you don't have to like douse it, just you know, a couple squirts of water, and it just kind of reinvigorates the Stampin' Mist, and it's good to go. So okay, next thing we're gonna do. So here's our beautiful cover. Looks just like the other one. Where's it at? See? So pretty, 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 pretty. This one's kind of, you know, done a little differently, angled differently. You know, that's the stamp is like so perfect for a beginner. I could not iterate that more. This is just perfect for the beginner. Okay, remember now, this is 2.5 by 2.5. So the next thing we're going to do is our little nuggies. We got to put them in our bag. So I have all these strips. Again, they're cut 1 by 3. And we're going to take our little nuggets. And this is up to you how many of these you want to put into your little bag. You can do 2, you can do 4. I think this thing holds 6 or 8 comfortably. I've never filled it up all the way because I'm kind of greedy with my chocolate. Yeah. So, and these are the good ones. These are the extra creamy with the toffee pieces in them. So, kind of greedy with my chocolate. So, but I always do 4 because I think that's a great gift is 4 of these. It's perfect, you know. So, you're going to take your nugget and you're going to take your glue dots. I recommend glue dots for this because you are folding the paper around your little nugget. And one thing I found about this is you can take this. You're not going to see this because it's going to be... Actually, you can use your bone folder. I usually do it on the edge of my desk. To help you wrap these around your nuggets, you can curl these up a little bit. You know, if you want to. I usually do it on the edge of my desk, but you can use any round object. Just curls them up. Makes them a little easier to wrap around than having to bend the paper at the last part. So, there you go. Okay, just like that. We have our 4. And we're going to take our glue dots. And we're going to put 1 on each side of one side. So there's 1 in each corner. And then we're going to put 1 on the other end right in the middle. Kind of in the middle. And the reason for that is to hold it onto this to make it easier. And I always do it in the same direction. See the little flap? I always do it in the same direction the flap is moving. So you're just going to put this in the center as best you can. Like I just messed up. As best you can. Put it down. Wrap this around. And I've seen people stamp these on there too. It's really cute. And then just line it up and press it down. And look at that cute little decorated Hershey nugget. That's like so simple, isn't it? And it looks so stinking cute. Let's do it again. I need to almost get my new glue dots out. I'm going to take this. We're going to put a glue dot in one corner. A glue dot in the other corner. Until my finger slips. And a glue dot in the middle at this end. I'm going to take our Hershey nugget, opposite, you know, keep the flap that goes with the paper. Put it in the center. Press it down. Wrap it around. And press. And there it is again. So let's do the other 2 here. Corner. Corner. And look at that, I'm almost out of glue dots. I need to get my other ones out. Match it up. This you can just sit, you know, and do in front of while you're watching a TV show or something. That would be the easiest to do these. You know, just get a bag of these and go to town. You know, 2 for them, you know, 1 for you, 2 for them. That could be fun. 1 for you, 2 for me. And it looks like I need to get out my other thing of glue dots. Thing you always have backups. And I need it on this side. And then on it goes. And I really love this wood grain DSP. It's so pretty, this pattern inside this Country Lane DSP. It's so, so pretty. And there you have your 4 nuggies. And now we're going to open up our bag. This is actually the hardest part in the whole thing, is putting these in. And you can do these in whatever order, you know, if you don't want one thing touching, you know, however. You can make them all look the same, all different, use different designs of the DSP. And then you just crunch it down to the bottom. Sometimes they go sideways, you gotta straighten them back out. Next. And you gotta remember, you know, in a pack of DSP, you get 12 different patterns. So, it could be fun. You can mix and match these things like crazy. Put this in here. Line them up. And I've seen people that put like a piece of paper behind these, but Never wanted to do that. Never saw the reason behind why you would do that. I mean, okay, it makes it look a little more, but gosh, that's just one extra step. Okay, now make sure you don't crunch these down all the way because they're not perfect squared. They'll kind of bunch up like that. So just kind of let them relax. And you're going to take this. This is where you need your scissors. You're going to fold down. I would say leave like about an inch in the fold area. Fold it down. And then cut probably about 1/4 to 1/2 inch the back. And then you have your cute. Make sure that's down real good. And set those aside. Now, this piece of paper is cut at, you know, because you want this to center on here, you know. So this one is cut at 2 5/8 by 5 1/4. And again, I'll have this on my blog tomorrow, so in case you forget the measurements, you can either rewatch this or just wait for the blog post tomorrow. It's 2 5/8 by 5 1/4, and it's scored at the 2 5/8 mark, because 5/8 and 5/8 is, or 2 5/8, because 2 5/8 and 2 5/8 is 5 1/4. So fun math, huh? And you're just gonna fold it in half. You don't have to score it if you don't want to, just makes it easier for you. Okay. Now, before you go putting this piece on top of this piece, unless you're going to do adhesive, if you're going to staple it, this is where you're going to staple. You're going to take this, put it on the top of this, and you're going to take your stapler. Now, either turn this over or turn the stapler over, because you want the little prong things to be in the front so you have a nice smooth, and I'll show you the difference with my other one. See how the prong things are right there? And this one's all smooth. You want this, not this. And I did this actually on purpose to show you. So it's nice and smooth and doesn't get caught on anything. So either turn your stapler over or turn the bag over when you do this. Now, if you're going to do this, and I'm going to show you how to do it with the tear and tape, or you can do it with the glue dots too. Whatever you have. You're actually going to put a piece right here. And you're going to put a piece, and if you get too much, it's okay, you can just fold it over right here. And you need a piece on the front part, because when it folds over, it's not going to meet that, because that touches that thing. It touches the bag. And then this. Okay. And now we're just going to pull off. Sorry if that was out of frame. I needed it a little closer to me so I could see the edge. You're going to pull off all the pieces. Hey, Crystal. Pull off all the, whoops, that one didn't tear all the way. There we go. Pull off all the little pieces. Sometimes they, there we go. And just push that back down. Now you're going to take your little nuggets. Fold your little thing over. You're going to push this and make sure, look how well that sticks. I wasn't even ready. Make sure the edge that you have folded over touches this tape, or just put another piece of tape there. Just so that it stays together. You're going to put that down there. Okay. And then you're going to fold this over and push it all down. And voila! Look at that. Perfect. You don't have to worry about the kids getting stuck on the little staples. Now this part you can put on first, or you can put on now. And we're just going to use our snail. And I usually do 3 little strips, because it's not dry embossed, so it will stick really well. And this just centers perfectly on the thing. That up just a little bit. And voila! There is our cute little treats for Thanksgiving. They're so cute. I always love this stamp. I've loved this stamp since I first got it. It's just so neat how you can do this combination with so many colors. I have done example of where I've done, I've done it with the pinks, I've done it with blues. If you look back on my blog post from earlier back in, I think June or May, I did one with blues and one with pinks, and it was just really pretty there. Reds for, you can make this look like a poinsettia for Christmas. There you go. Boom. You now have a Christmas treat. So you can put in, this be a great stocking stuffer. And you can fill this with any, you don't have to do just nuggets. You can fill it with anything. In fact, I'm going to show you. I had to do this for my design team post, which is why it was a little like coming on today. For this, and it got a little hole in it. This is with the Spirited Snowman stamp set. These are peppermint marshmallows, and this is hot cocoa. See, you can get a lot into this thing, and this would be really cute stocking stuffer, or put it inside of a mug and give as a gift to a neighbor, or, you know, somebody who loves hot cocoa, a friend, you know, whatever. And then the back says, you know, your friendship warms my heart. And I just did these with the Stampin' Blends and stuff. But this, you know, there's so many things for these little bags. You can do so much with these little bags. But yeah, do this in red. I would probably do something like maybe Poppy and Cherry Cobbler. And remember, you can stamp off and make a ton of different colors with one stamp pad. So, but there we are. There's our cute little treats for today. Oh gosh, those are so cute. I'm going to see if I can flip back real quick. Oh, if I'm on, hello there. I'm waiting for my phone to catch up with me. I'm out of breath. I need a drink. So let's see if it did it. Nope, it didn't go down. That means I gotta stand up. And I gotta put my other thing back on. So let's put this on. If it will go. My fingers are so cold. And voila. Now it should have worked. I hope it did. Yeah, there's a good 20-second delay on this thing. It's kind of weird. I'll wait for this to catch up. And the tear and tape, you can cut it too. You don't have to just tear it. If you don't have the hand strength. Oh, we are live. Hi! You can just tear the stuff. You don't have, or cut it if you don't want to tear it. I know so for some people who may have arthritic hands and stuff. Before my neck surgery, there was no way I could have torn this stuff. It's just, it's easy to tear, but my fingers just didn't work like they used to. Much better now. Before, it was really cool. Before my neck surgery, off topic here, most people can do this with their hands. Now, this is my left hand. The bone spur was on the right side of my spinal cord, so that's why. But this is my left hand. You can see how pretty wide, you know, I can do this. Before the surgery, this was the most I could do. And this is my right hand. This was the most I could do, you know, and if I had to do this, this was it, you know, pretty limited. Days after surgery, actually a couple hours after my surgery, it was back to this. That's how much pressure I was putting on the nerves and stuff going to my hand. So the doctors were very impressed that I did not lose any range of motion with the bone spur, so I was actually really happy with that. In fact, it was so cute. My husband walked into my hospital room. The first thing I did was put up my hand and had my fingers like this, because I was just amazing. It made my day to have my use of my hand back. And I've been going to PT, physical therapy. I know in Australia they call it physio, for a little over a month now. And it is greatly improved my range of motion with my shoulders, my arms, my neck again. And I have no limitations other than the restrictions I already had, because my back is bad. I can't lift anything over 10 pounds. I have a hard time sitting long times. That's why I'm constantly moving. So my back doesn't get sitting in one spot for a very long time. The muscles kind of get sedentary to that spot, and if I move or something, and it could just be a movement that you're not even conscious of, and my back will go out. That's how bad it is, and it's sad. But I have no restrictions because of the surgery, even though my C5, C6 is fused together. There's this cute little metal plate in there. It doesn't cause me any restrictions. I have full movement, so it's kind of cool. I just have this little scar. It'll eventually go away. It actually looks really good than it did a month ago. And the surgery was a little over 2 months ago. So, back on topic. So, kind of clean up my desk here. That is what I'm doing this weekend. I'm going to do this blog post today. I have one more design team thing I need to put up. And I have a blog post for tomorrow. This weekend, I am cleaning my craft room. This back here isn't too bad other than that painting I have sitting there. And the reason that painting is sitting there is cats don't touch it. It needs to be framed. But you should see my desk. It's a nightmare. There's stamps everywhere. There's stuff everywhere. There's is a nightmare. And I got really frustrated last night because I couldn't find something. And I'm like, this is it. I have to clean this out. This stuff has just got to go. There's a lot of stuff I need to get rid of. I'm going to be selling a lot of my retired, discontinued stamps and Stampin' Up! Stuff like that, ribbon, paper, whatever, on eBay and here on Facebook. So you can check those out. I am not, one thing is I'm not going to be, one thing I always do, if a stamp set comes with a die, and I will show you one that does. Give me Signs of Santa. This is Signs of Santa. Hey, this stamp set came with dies, and you don't have to buy it with the dies if you don't want to. If it comes with the die, I buy it. One thing I always do is I buy these 5x7 adhesive magnetic sheets on Amazon. These are much easier and cheaper than buying the vent covers that most people buy to put their dies on. Because for one, there's already adhesive on the back. All I gotta do is peel it off and put this on. I'm not wasting my own tape. And price for price, this is cheaper. And they're already cut and got adhesive. And I so recommend these. And they're, you know, they're not that expensive. I think here in the US, 25 of these 5x7 sheets, and I don't have to cut them. They fit in here perfectly. It was only cost me $14, and since I'm a Prime member, it's free shipping, 2-day shipping. So I highly recommend this. You know, and the dies don't come off. They are on there pretty good. You know, and I just pick them off whenever. So when I sell any stamp set that has a die, it's going to have it's like this. You know, the case has got it in there. They're going to be sold together. I am not separating dies from their stamp sets, frankly, because it already has this in here. So if you see something that does have a that came with a die, it already has it, and that's just going to sell it as a bundle price. Because I don't want to take them out, because for one, I may have the things that these dies come in, their little case, and I will show you the one for this one, because I actually have it right here next to me. So, of course, it's the last one I pick up. You know how they come in these things? They come in these little plastic, and these are great. You can store them in here. You know, these are really good for storing. I just like them in here because it's right with the stamp set. It's easy accessible, and here I go. So, but, I mean, I'll include these with it in case you want to pull them back out and put them in this, because I have really no use to keep these. If I have it, I'll include it with it, but if you do see it and it came with a die, it's coming with its die, because I'm just not going to separate them out. And another thing I did is I have a little labeler, and I put the name of the die set. I know it's going to be backward. This one says Santa's Signpost, because that's the name of the dies, Santa's Signpost. And how many dies are in this set. This one by chance has 14. That way, you know, I'm sitting there trying to find a die, and I'm like, wait, this doesn't look right. I'll count all my dies, and if the number of these doesn't match the number here, I'm missing something somewhere. So I have to go back through the catalog and find out, well, how many dies came with that one? You know, it's right there, and I can count them right now and go, oh gosh, there's all 14. They're there. So I highly recommend doing that. It makes it so much easier than trying to pull out your catalog and go find the page where they're all at to see how many dies are in the set. And it says on these too. Down here at the bottom, it tells you how many dies are in them. So it's real simple. I don't usually bother with the item number. I just usually put the name and how many stamps are in this, or how many dies are in the set. So I think that's it for today. This was a lot of fun. I love doing these little treat things. They're just so much fun, and they're so quick and easy. You could totally like assembly line these things. You know, cut all these little things out first, stamp them all, and then have them all stacked up and ready. Then cut all the cardstock for the back. You know, then sit down while you're watching TV, do all your little nugget things, cut the paper. It's only 1x3. You know, cut a whole bunch of little strips. You get a whole bunch out of a piece of 12x12. You might get both sides of that DSP, so you can use both sides for it. And you get 50 of these things? Yep, 50 in this package of these 2x8 cellophane bags. So, you know, I don't know if you were to order it now, if you would get it in time for Thanksgiving next week. It'd be stocking stuffers. You saw what I did with the hot cocoa. So, but these things are the bomb. I love these things. I have a whole bunch of these. So I'm going to be making a whole bunch. I love giving them to neighbors. They're so quick and easy to give to neighbors. You know, neighbors love them. It's just a cute little treat. You can do these for Halloween too. You can do any holiday. Any holiday. You know, there's always paper DSP that matches a holiday. So, you know, just any holiday, just find your perfect stamp set and boom. There's your, you know, you got a perfect, got kids classes. You know, you got kids in class. I don't know what it is. It varies from state to state here in the U.S. Here in Arizona, from our high school is 9th through 12th. So anything grade 8 and down, which is considered, I can't remember the technical term, but high school is secondary in here. Education, secondary education, primary education, 8th grade down here in Arizona. The kids are not allowed to have, if they have a party or some or sugaring, they're not allowed to have candy or soda or anything during school hours. So if you were to make these for like your kid's class or something, you would have to pass them out seriously after the bell rang. And I've done that. So when they get into high school, I don't know if they consider it by then, you know, it's like, we don't care. They have soda machines on campus for them kids. You can give them all day long. So, but they would make great little things for kids' birthday classes, you know, whatever. You know, you'd have to go by whatever restrictions the schools have on what kind of treats you can give them. A lot of them, it has to be prepackaged. Nothing homemade. It depends on where you live. It really, really does. The laws and restrictions. And some of it is in state law. Some of it's federal law because schools are federal grounds. So alrighty, I hope you had a great fun today. I hope I gave you a ton of ideas on what you can do with these cute little bags and with your paper. Whole new thing, you know, treat. And your stamps, these great things that you can do. And I could not recommend more Painted Harvest as a beginner stamp. I mean, if you are so scared about starting to stamp, this is like the most forgiving stamp out there. And you would only need just a couple colors of ink. I would recommend probably like buying, you know, depending on what time of year you're using. Right now it would be Regals because it's like fall. Maybe buying a color family of the ink, or and the color pack, because Stampin' Up! Does sell all the cardstock that in a color family in one pack. I think you get 2 or 3, I can't remember how many pieces you get of each color, and a pack of the Whisper White, and you can just, you know, get these. It's just so cheap to do. They are just so easy. And I know you can buy, can't do it in the big packs with the Hershey Nuggets. You have to buy them if you want the individual flavors. They only come up in the 15.8 ounce size individual, and these are my favorites. These are the only ones I want. So, but you could buy it in a big family pack with the 4 different flavors and mix like one of each flavor in there. But one of them does have almonds. Actually, 2 of them. One of them. The almonds come in this one too. I don't remember. But remember the ones that have almonds. So you have people with nut allergies, but beware of that. So, alrighty. Thank you so much for being with me today. I am so excited. I'm going to get these done. Getting a couple other things I need to do done. And I will see you guys next week. Remember, I will be live at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Wednesday, not Thursday next week, because obviously it's our Thanksgiving. I want to spend the day with my family. So, thank you very much for joining me today, and I will see you guys next week. This blog post and all the measurements and everything for this will be up tomorrow, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great day. And I don't know if this is like going to turn off.